You have to decide once and for all whose responsibility it is to build the local church. You've got to decide once and for all, whose responsibility is it really to build the local church? Now, in case you wonder, Jesus already gave us the answer. Matthew, I believe it's 16. He said, I will build my church. So let me ask you a question. Whose ultimate responsibility is it to build a local church? It's Jesus' responsibility. And the moment a man or woman in ministry takes on the yoke to build the local church and takes upon themselves the responsibility that Jesus took upon himself, you will have trouble at home. Because you will worry about things you have no business worrying about. You'll take on responsibility and you'll take on yourself, pressure that you were never supposed to take on yourself. And it's going to show up in the home. So years ago, when and if you've read my book, Choosing to Cheat, and then we retitled it When Work and Family Collide, I tell the story of that defining moment for us when we had 2 in diapers and Sandra's pregnant, and by 4 o'clock in the afternoon, she has no energy, and we had just started our organization. We had just started the organization. Anybody involved in a startup, you know how hard it is to start up anything, especially a local church. And so there I am, and when I'm at work, I'm worried about what's going on at home. When I'm at home, I'm worried about what's going on at work. When I'm at work, I'm thinking, gosh, I know I've left Sandra with all this. And when I'm at home, I'm thinking, oh my gosh, I got this startup. And things it was just tough. And we had a very challenging but wonderful conversation. And that's when I decided for me. And I think at some point you've got to decide for yourself. My responsibility is to build my family. Because Jesus already announced 2,000 years ago, he has taken upon himself the responsibility to build the local church. And that's not an excuse for laziness. No one has ever accused me of being lazy. But it is the excuse you have to give yourself at some point to say, God, I'm not going to spend this season of my life at work saying, Lord, even though I'm neglecting my family, God, would you please fill in the gaps at home while I, do the work, whatever the work is, especially the work of the church. But instead to turn that around and say, God, I'm going home. I'm asking you to please fill in the gaps at work while I go home and take care of my primary responsibility at home. Now, the thing that I feel like I have some authority in saying this, and I'm not the only one, and you've heard these kinds of things before, is that we've been really, really successful. We built a really large church. And in the early days, I limited my schedule to 40 hours a week. Because at that season now, I work way more than that. Now, if I work harder now than ever before. But the reason is, when I go home, there's nobody there, okay? Because they're all grown and gone. But in those early years, I said, God, look, it looks like I have about 40 hours. And at this season, not forever, this season, I can give you 40 hours. So for ministry and for work. So you build whatever size church you can on 40 hours of my work week. Because I know at this stage, my family needs me like they probably will never need me again. And it was a defining moment for me. And I'm just telling you, as you wrestle with that work and family tension, whether you're in ministry or in some other capacity, nonprofit or for-profit or business, at some point along the way, you've got to decide, where's my primary responsibility? And here's the thing, is if you're a Christian, you get this. We are never commanded to love our jobs like Christ loved our jobs. We've not been commanded to love the church like Christ loved the church. Men, we were told to love our wives like Christ loved the church. And when we get those two things reversed, there's going to be a tension you will never be able to manage through, and there will be a tension that eventually shows up, and you will reap the consequences in your family. So you just have to decide at some point, whose responsibility is it to build this church? And the good news is, it is not ultimately your responsibility.